we came in with the goal that we wanted to make it out of groups, right? And if we go out in quarters, on stage, that was not the case for this event. I believe semis were the first stage games was had, if I remember correctly, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what our thought was. Quarters, stage, lose that. We're happy. We got the crowd. We got to experience the LAN event.
Yeah.
And well, we made it that far, but we never saw a stage. And we basically got denied the one thing that we truly wanted, which was to relive an audience at that significance once more before knowing that the team would fall apart. Because we all knew deep within that if we had a terrible run, it would probably mean some serious roster changes. And that's exactly what came out of it.
So that makes more sense to me, because like in my mind, I was like, well, you guys got a groups, like it wasn't like too bad considering how you guys had performed previously, but I forgot about the whole stage. Like I would have, because it wouldn't have felt like you really got out of groups if you didn't play on stage, you know?
It didn't feel like we got out of groups at all.
Yeah.
And we actually felt that maybe the one thing that could help us, seeing as our performance wasn't top tier, maybe the pressure that other teams would have, on the stage against us, maybe that could really sway our favor and turn the tides around. If we just made it to that stage and because we knew how to deal with pressure. That's not our problem, so to speak. But we failed to struggle without the pressure, almost, so to speak. We wanted to see what you could bring with your newfound boy squad, so to speak.
Yeah.
And instead, we got to watch you guys lift the hammer. I did call them the boy squad because they look very young. Like you look at Ramby and stuff like that. It's like that's the boy squad, Troy's the man squad. But full circle, they're just the boy squad. Yeah. No, but I was really happy to see you. I don't know. It's almost like I felt I could just be happy for you lifting that hammer and doing what you achieved and what you accomplished that tournament. Because if anyone should win, and it shouldn't be me, it shouldn't be G2. I thought it should be you, not necessarily SSG, but Troy, right? Because you're one of the people that I respect the most in this game, in this community, as a player, as an individual, as a character, as a persona. And you winning just made it so much more worth for me to get to spectate the grand final as a spectator and not as a player, because I would not want to lose to you if we were playing each other, but I would not mind seeing you win as a spectator, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. I've been there. You don't want to lose ever, but sometimes once you're already out, there's like some people,
because we had a rivalry for a while, back in the day when we were both good at the game and we're both doing good. Not so much anymore, but the goal is, of course, to get some sort of rivalry back, because I do feel that Siege right now, we don't really have a whole lot of storylines to like twist internationally. I feel like at this point, like obviously we'll have G2 BDS. That'll always be a banger of a game. I think any game with TSM, Darkseer, SSG is going to be a banger in North America. At least I, as a spectator, I always love watching those games. But say we go international, say Invite is happening in a few months. What storylines are we going to draw from North America to EU to Latin to APAC? Because the only one I can draw is G2 Fnatic, for the obvious reason that we bought Fnatic's player in Virtue and Jake, and he's now on our roster.
Yeah.
But besides that,
the thing is, it's because we missed out on 2 international lands, right?
We did.
Like, because it was at the end of an era of Siege, right? Like we always had EG, we always had G2. I left EG disbanded. That's like one of the big teams that was gone. Then all these new teams come up, right? Like TSM's coming up. I joined SSG. They're getting even better. Like DZ's becoming an international team now, not just only good in NA, right? And then G2, like again, end of an era kind of thing. And I think Tokonami, like that was an event where it didn't really develop the storylines as much, because again, they had the 2 Brazilian teams that had subs in. And it was all new teams. Like Navi was a new team, DZ was a new team.
No one made it,
right?
Like
none of like the usual suspects were there, right?
No.
And then Invite, we finally like had this clash of all these teams to like build storylines, but we haven't had an event since. So like there's nowhere to develop those storylines. And this was you were asking me about how I felt about NAL coming up to this, and just like I think like something that's hit me the most right now during this whole I miss international competition, man. Like
Yeah.
it's so much more fun. Like just playing the same teams over and over again, like it gets old.
There is another thing that we haven't talked about here. I think it is I think it is a pipe dream. These shields are a huge problem, and I think that they are, you know, changing the deployable shields around was something that a lot of people said was needed. Some are saying weren't needed. I think that it wasn't needed. I think that all you needed to do was maybe make it so that they could lock, and then they were fine as is. I mean, I think that making them too strong is too strong. There is another balancing change that they could make. They could just remove some of the slits from the shield. Yeah. Maybe make it so that you could only have one, like a cup, just there's only like 2 slits or something like that. And that's all they can see instead of all those slits. Or maybe make it so that, you know, I don't know. Maybe make it so that it's like almost fully translucent so that you can see the person sitting behind it and that you know that they're there. There's ways that they can change it that way.
They could do it that way. I don't, like, if they really don't want to change it though, I don't think they'd even need to. If they got rid of it on the good operators. Like, okay, if Smoke didn't have one, if Valk didn't have one, if Wamai didn't have one, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, if you want to bring Wamai, Jaeger, Goyo, Wamai, Jaeger, Goyo, Belusi, Maestro, right? Mm-hmm. That's like the explosives you have to deal with now. Now all of a sudden you're missing a Smoke for your setup. And for like that late round win.
Yeah.
Like things change a lot now. Now, yes, you still have to clear all this shit, but it doesn't have the same impact. Like, Maestro doesn't have the same impact if you don't have the smoke and the C4s to deal with it, right? Yeah. None of this even works if you don't have the shotgun to do all the setup. Like, all these problems could be avoided if some of these operators didn't have a shield.
Yeah.
Like, Smoke is so good in so many ways.
Smoke has been like top 3 most picked defender since the beginning of time.
Take away this motherfucker's shield.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too with the new Tachanka. I feel like it's like the same thing as like, oh, Jaeger's picked all the time. We got to give a better alternative so people pick something different. But like, I don't know. Is it really gonna do much? At the end of the day, right now, I think you still take Smoke. Sometimes you're gonna be able to stack regardless. But like, Smoke brings a shield and he can do that stuff, right? Like, the alternatives. I don't like the alternatives thing. That stuff scares me.
I think we talked about this. I think there's a couple solutions to trying to get rid of bulletproof gadgets. I think making the gadgets be destroyed on their own is better. Like some form of counterplay, you know? Yeah. Like maybe have there be a little button under the evil eye that you shoot and it opens it and then you can destroy it. Or maybe make it so that the evil eye can't see anything unless it's opened. And when you go on to Maestro, it automatically opens when Maestro's on it so that you can see. But to make it so that it's not as easily shot, maybe you shrink the size of what you need to shoot as a counterbalance to it. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I could see. But I mean,
I just want to put on the record, we discuss all these ideas. The number one I still have, man, take away the shields from the good op. That's number 1. Okay, do that one. Try that one first.
Yeah.
If we're gonna like, before we put a bubble on, or a button under the evil eye, and before we make DMRs be able to destroy shit, before we do the gadget pull, try the shields away from Omai and Smoke. And
you're smart, Troy.
Try that one first. Thank you.
I'm fine with that.
That one's got to be my clear-cut number 1. I just want that to be very clear.
Also been a conversation that's happened, and I think Get Flanked tweeted about it, and a couple other people have posted about it in chat, where when an operator dies, their gadgets stop working.
I'll do you one better. I'll add on top. When an operator dies, it should show the icon top right or top left so that you know who you killed. Because there are so many instances, and what we could do with that is that, you know, the clients that have bodies that sometimes
then you get rid of the bodies.
Hide angles,
then you get rid of the bodies,
like Valorant. So if you kill someone, even with a wallbang, you'll know who you killed. That is your rightful information.
I'm fine with that.
Bodies do not lay around the ground.
Yep. I'm totally fine with that. I've said long for many years, you need to get rid of client-side bodies. They are, you know, we worked really hard to get rid of client-sided barricades. Client-sided bodies, I would argue, they don't often present issues, but when they do, boy, do they present a lot of issues. How many people right now in chat have died because some dude is literally in a tauntaun body on the ground, and on your screen, it looks like a corpse, but it's actually somebody hiding in it because on their screen, the body is somewhere else. So
Happened to
they're
me
lying
last
on the
week.
ground, and they're just prone like normal, but because the body fell to the left on your screen instead of the right, you're getting shot by the elbow of a dead mute. And then you look at the replay and it's somebody in a corpse, can't see you. And it's like, get rid of it. And chat is just blowing up being like, yeah, all of us, get rid of it. The moment that you kill somebody, the moment that a body dies, their icon pops up. They're gone from the thing. Their body immediately disappears. I am fully in support of that change.
I agree.